Scaling frequencies are open. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Last Excelsior, our Star Trek Adventures actual play here with the StreamPunks on Althaven, and so on and so forth. It's good to see everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, last week we had Noirville. This week we're having some Last Excelsior action. Noirville, you guys get a Halloween episode this month. Is that right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, we do.
Is it big? Now, is the last episode this month? Is it on a Tuesday? It's on a Friday. Oh, okay. So, but on the 27th, y'all are getting your Halloween episode. I kind of wish we had gotten this set up and angled it in such a way that we had a Halloween episode for Trek, but I think it makes more sense that you guys are getting it for Super.
I mean, time is whatever we want. We could have a November Halloween episode right away. The next, you know.
That is very, very true. And I should go ahead and state for the record that with a huge shout out again to Omnia, who has been constantly sending me star dates and updates for every episode. It's actually January 2nd right now in the relative time period that we are in. So, yeah. Something to keep in mind. The star date which you guys left was July, I believe. So, Omnia's been keeping track of all of this.
So what I'm hearing is we don't have to have Halloween episodes because in world is a totally different month, and that just wouldn't make sense.
Yep, yeah. I'm gonna basically next episode is just gonna be you guys in the holodeck playing your characters from Beacon.
Damn, I have to be literally anywhere else. I'm so sorry.
And I'm just watching, I guess.
Like, no, you're the Xeno. You're gonna be the Xeno.
Oh yeah.
Rawr. It's just gonna be it's just gonna be literally.
I mean, I did say Teo run ttrpg games, so Teo could just run a game with Alien.
Well, it's good to see everybody. Thank you again for joining us tonight. As we get underway here, I'm going to just kick things off. Does anybody have any announcements they would like to kick out there before we jump into tonight's game? Anybody? Go ahead, Caitlin.
I played Yuga, it's really fun, and I took a week off because I was out of town, but I'm back, and the new VOD just got posted on YouTube, so you should go check it out and follow and like all of my videos and see all of the new never before made faces that I include in all of my thumbnails. That's my update.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Anybody else got anything? Really, nobody?
Well, I got some. I am back to my 5 days a week streaming schedule. We're bringing back old shows like Goo Crew, where me, my partner Fox, and a few of our friends come watch silly YouTube videos. Also, we're doing Fan Film Friday, where we watch some of the coolest fan films of comic books, Star Trek, that sort of thing. And so be sure to check it out. I stream every day at 11:30 a.m. because I need sleep. That's it.
Central.
That's not all though. You're trying to get to PAX.
That is true.
I need to PAX.
And that is part of the 5 days a week streaming. I am trying to get support to get to PAX. I got a media badge, and I'll be there with the Bitten crew. Actually, what I'm very excited for is this is going to be the first gaming convention that I go to with my sibling Joy. I'm trying to introduce Joy to the TTRPG space. Some of you already know them. So if you want to see where all the funny in the family went, be sure to check it out.
Sweet. All right. Thank you, Noir. Anybody else got anything they want to announce before we start? All right. In that case, why don't we go ahead and oh my God.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It says something about a birthday here on my notes. Yeah.
It definitely doesn't. No.
For an entire week, it looks like there's a birthday.
I assure you.
Are you sure?
Are
you sure?
I am.
That's weird because I thought you were Sam.
Yeah.
All right. I could be wrong. All right. In that case, let's go and jump into tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior. Happy birthday, Sam.
I'm a changeling and I'm gonna get you!
And welcome back as we jump into tonight's episode. Where we last left off, y'all were pretty much at the bottom of the ocean still, as you were trying to evacuate this entire species during this crisis that has been going on. The Rujin have turned out to be a hyper-intelligent and innately compassionate race. However, they are also prone to being quite emotional when it comes to protecting themselves. You guys have had to kind of cut through a lot of the cynicism and cautions that they have, an understandable trait to have developed after encountering the Borg, nearly having their entire peoples wiped out. However, they have opened their minds to all of you, and you have all managed to do quite well in not only winning their trust, but in helping them in this very dangerous situation. Now, let me just go ahead and give a brief recap of where we are in this particular moment. The Borg are still lingering out there, and they're moving closer in system. They've finally gotten around the fact that you guys bought yourself a significant amount of time by luring them away from the system and giving them a ghost signal to go chase while you were all trying to get things settled here. As things stand, current trials is that you need to initiate this reactor that's using the hydrothermal vents at the bottom of this ocean in order to stabilize the facility long enough to get people off this colony that's down here at the bottom. That's been tricky. You are also currently keeping the colony stabilized through the very clever use of a tractor beam, which has secured the station to where it is and counteracted the effects of the seismic events you've been experiencing. On that note, you've also learned the big thing you've also learned is these seismic events aren't necessarily tectonic plates shifting underneath this facility. They are, in fact, the very thing the facility is built on. There are life forms that are roughly the size of small mountain ranges that are shifting and quaking underneath the facility itself. In fact, these undersea creatures are so gigantic that initial sensor scans just had them listed as these massive underground or these undersea mountain ranges. You've since learned that they are some kind of crustacean-like creature, not similar in any way to the Rujin. They definitely have a lot of the same characteristics of shell casing and whatnot around their body for armor protection, but they are something different, something big. And by big, if you remember correctly, I described them as something in the vicinity of about 20 kilometers in length. Some of these are the size of cities or larger. Easily. They've all seemed to congregate. You've discovered that there's not just one that this facility has been built on. There are many, so many that the sensors is just picking them up all across the terrain on this side of the hemisphere. And they've all begun to cluster around this area in particular. What you've discovered is they've all kind of piled upon one another. Their movements are so slow that they are causing these seismic reverberations that have been causing damage to the facility. To make things even more interesting is in order to get done what you all need done, the Borg sphere has had to descend deeper into the water in order to facilitate everything that you guys are all planning right now with the beaming and stabilizing. It has caused a rupture in the artificial bubble that has been created around this particular area and is causing a lot of the sulfuric acid content of the ocean begin to seep into this area of the water as well. So that is going to also add to the pressures that are taking place. You guys have time right now. The big variable, honestly, with all of this wild stuff happening, because of last episode's really clever engineering and science tactics on everyone's part, you have all managed to stay ahead of the curve. The pressure is on, but y'all are ahead of the curve. The only variable that continues to linger is you simply do not have periscope. You don't have a sight on the Borg. You just don't know what their location is, where they're at, and what their knowledge is of you guys. You don't know how close they are, if they're onto you. You just know that they are approaching the planet. And that last you checked, it was a scout class vessel, something smaller than a Borg sphere. So if combat has to happen, your guess is it's going to be face to face. It's not going to be ship to ship, because that would not go well for them tactically. You guys could literally just fly through them. and end that right away. All right. So with that in mind, we are picking up where we left off, where this discovery of these creatures, the discovery of the creature had been known. The discovery of the creatures is now the newest bit of information that you've all learned. Keep in mind, too, that at this point, everyone has also been hearing and feeling the reverberations, sound waves emitting from the ocean bed. It sounded at first like it was just ambient background noise, but now sensors are detecting that they are in fact emanating from the creatures themselves. And you have all managed to sense or become aware somehow that these leviathans, these titans at the bottom of the ocean, are somehow aware of all of you. What that means and what level awareness that is up to supposition. If it's animal awareness, then there's that. But sentient, you have no idea. But we're going to start off where we were last leaving off. I'm going to actually start with our intrepid Danger Mouse, who decided to edge along the outer rim of the facility over the side of, with the abyss looming just beyond their footsteps as they're edging towards the airlock in the back of this facility to gain entrance. You have managed to find yourself inside the bay, the airlock bay. This one is not damaged like the one in the front was. And you have managed to gain access to this. Now, if I remember correctly, you have managed to seal that airlock and you were going to initiate entering the facility. The only difficulty is the airlock doesn't have any power to it. Does that sound right to you? That's what I had in my notes. We may not have gotten there, though.
Yeah, we have... Yeah, no, I manipulated my suit.
Right.
Grabbed to the facility. Jaren communicated with the Rujin through their version of Morse code through the busted airlock door.
Right. To let them know you were coming in.
Yeah, we felt the sonar ping. And the crabs, or the creature rumble.
We're definitely picking up where we left off because we're already starting to jump into the crab jokes.
Oh yeah. The more than one is at least 8. I think that was where we left off. I think that was as far as I had. So if I had gotten to, the goal was to get in, but I don't think I had addressed anything.
You see, as you yet. Okay, so then where we're going to pick up then is you inside this airlock. Savine, the emergency lights are the only things that are casting this sort of eerie glow where you can see the particles of ocean water kind of drifting past your helm. And you can see like the flickering of lights just above you from the interior of the airlock. Outside that door is the black abyss. Simply drops off. And you can hear the ominous humming, booming. It's so deep. If you've ever heard, and I highly encourage you all to do it because it's amazing, but if you've ever actually heard Blue Whale's song, it is like a sustained thunder that just rolls. Also, fun fact, did you know that blue whales are so loud that a blue whale singing off the coast of Los Angeles can be heard by a blue whale off the coast of Hawaii? Pretty amazing.
If you're like near one, like too close to one when they sing, it can like harm bodily functions.
I don't know about that. Might be true for blue whales. It's definitely true for sperm whales.
I knew one of them.
Sperm whales can paralyze you. Sperm whales can cook your insides. They are so loud.
Love it.
Yeah.
Also, across that distance, they make jokes about crabs.
Yes, of course.
Do. Which is sad because every crab along the way can hear the blue whales making jokes about crabs again. That's like thousands and thousands of crabs being bullied by just 2 whales.
Yeah.
It's the internet. All right. So, in which case, you are now on the inside. You have communications, of course, being everyone is Borg. You have communications with your captain. But right now, you have just, the last you heard is that captain was essentially Morse coding on the front door to let them know that you were coming in.
Okay. So the last night they know that I was coming around. So I'm in one door that was already open, or I was able to open the door.
It's an airlock, so you're inside. The airlock is still flooded. So all you do, Yeah. So all you need to do right now, your task right now is to try to find a way to route enough power to close the outer airlock and pressurize it, and then you can enter the facility.
Are there any like terminals or consoles in the airlock?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. There are.
Can I like give it a jump with my power? Like I'm I'm charged, you know? Is that something I can do?
You're like, I'm a Borg.
Yeah.
If you did you find out what your implants were?
No.
I didn't think so. Because I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, Jaren actually is the one that has the Borg implant that allows him to interact with computer consoles without even
the
needing
brain,
to
that's
touch
right.
it. And
What about this? I modified the suit. If I'm already in this airlock, maybe a big risk, but if I can use the suit power, then if it works, then I'm fine. I'll be in the airlock. The airlock will work and I'll go in. So maybe I could use the suit, the power
suit.
that we had to like the environmental gear that they didn't have, like that we had to charge up, that we modified to be charged by our stuff.
Oh, so you want to drain some of the power out of your suit in order to
Yeah.
activate the gotcha. Okay. Ooh, first of all, I love that. And I will allow that for sure, but it is going to immediately reward me threat because
Of course, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to do it here.
You are literally
Can't interact
weakening
with
your
this stuff.
suit. Yeah. You're literally weakening the support on your suit in order to give yourself the energy that you require to do this. So 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. So I'm gonna give myself a threat.
Feels reasonable.
I shouldn't say I'm giving myself a threat. The scene gains a threat because you are juicing up. But
if you need a threat, I could threaten you.
that's just a Monday night. If you want to go ahead and make me a control engineering check.
Okay.
And to reward you for doing something wacky like this, I am going to just set the difficulty here at 2.
Yay. Okay.
But you know what though? It still makes sense to raise the complication range because
that does track.
So, now I've been doing this a lot recently, and I'm only choosing it like this because the environment you're in is so incredibly extreme.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly extreme. As a quick reminder, 18.795 tons per square inch of pressure outside the force field you're under right now.
Yeah, it's very much one of those like you can touch lava or you can go swimming in lava, but only once. Is like kind of I'm like I got one shot at this.
Daffy Duckman, yeah.
One opportunity, mom's spaghetti.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna set the complication range of this at 17 or higher as a complication.
Okay. Awesome. So I either succeed or I get a complications, whereas where the numbers are shaking out right now for me.
You can always succeed at cost too, but I mean, yeah.
No, I'm on a roll. I don't think I have any. Yeah, none of my focuses are gonna help here. Do our momentum from last game roll over because we're in the same adventure, or did you want us to reset?
Resetting this one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we don't have either of our people in the scene who can give me a momentum. So
done.
This is why it's good to have me around.
But you know what? Here's what I'll do. Because you're doing something narratively, you're doing something that's awarding the scene threat. Technically, that's not always a case basis to give you momentum in exchange. But you can ask me, you can ask for threat. Basically, you can throw more threat onto the scene to gain momentum. If you would like.
I believe I've already used my determination for this adventure. You know what? I like my odds. I like my odds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for it.
Do it.
But we never told you them.
Never told me the odds. Well, like I said, I either get a complication or I succeed because that's, I'm working with a 16 and under here.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Come on, Devine. It's a 10 and a 14. That's 2 successes.
Okay. Your suit begins to blare an alert, and your internal systems immediately start warning you of the potential dangers of what's happening as your biometrics begin to immediately click and monitor, and you start seeing the pressurization of your suit start stressing considerably. That being said, you connect over to the monitor, reaching over to it. You can see it's this sort of perfectly blended into the console wall itself behind reinforced materials. As you reach down and tap onto it, you begin to immediately initiate a transfer of the energy from your shield. You see the console begin to glow. All the language that you have now learned of the Rusian starts to pop up on the screen. It takes a few quick commands, and the door behind you begins to slowly seal. And finally, you hear this sound as all of a sudden the water begins to press down as the water begins to drain out of here. There's a alert going off. You can hear it muffled at first, but as the water levels drop, you can finally hear the like alert going off inside the airlock before the water finally drains down to about your knees and then leaks away underneath the floors. And the lights, the emergency lights flip on. You've managed to initiate. You can now open the airlock door.
I give them a little knock to let them know that I'm coming, and I will
Okay.
head inside.
There's a hissing sound as more pressurization begins to flood into the room, and the doors kind of swing open almost like curtains would if they were pulled aside like some kind of show was being initiated. These doors just kind of slide upwards like this and fold in and outward and back up into the doorway itself, revealing this darkened interior of flickering lights, this dome-like atmosphere, and the rather ominous, if you had not met the Rusian, it would have been out of a horror movie to see the flickering lights of this undersea facility that's on the edge of being tossed over the side of this mountain range. To see these shrimpish-like creatures flickering in the dark, standing up bipedally, looking at you on their legs. They stare. One of the things you notice, because this is the first time you've seen them, is there are small traces of bioluminescent tattooing that looks like is taking place across the back of their shells.
Cool.
Those things that you saw when you first met them, when you see a lot of the like the scarifications that you thought were ritually made on their shells, you see now that it's actually some kind of marker that is perhaps visible to them in certain light.
Cool.
But make no mistake, Tavine, their body language shifts when they see you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It goes from cautious relief to mild panic. You're not sure if they're frozen in place because they're about to do something, or if they are just absolutely deer in headlights situation.
I think Tavine just goes, "Hello. I am here to help. My name is Tavine. Please do not be too alarmed by how I look. I know that this is frightening, but if you'd like, you can show me where your engineering failures have happened, and I can do my best to assist you. I'm not normally the one speaking with new people, so you'll forgive my social lack of prowess, I suppose. I will
Okay.
remain here until you allow me in. Nice to meet you." And she kind of like shuffles awkwardly.
You know, if you were not perhaps wearing one of the suits and covered in Borg implants, the awkward charm might have actually elicited sympathy on the behalf of this scientific inclined species that is more curious and open-minded. However, you are now in social combat because
Oh, yeah.
they are terrified.
Yeah.
So, in which case, you can tell me which department you would like to use for this. But I think it goes without saying that the attribute you're probably initiating here is the purposes of trying to get calm them. It's going to be presence.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you're
yeah.
using command. It sounds like you're trying to use command would be like trying to use your words to calm somebody.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a
Um,
reason command check, it is going to be a contested roll.
Reason command? I could do reason? Or you said presence before.
I said presence, but if you want to try to make a play for reason.
Oh, you just said reason that suddenly. I was like, oh wait, maybe I have a shot.
Presence command, but if you would like to use reason, you can make a case for it if you want.
Okay. Well, I don't have much of a presence or an act for command, so that would be the funniest stat to roll on, but probably not helpful. um Could I in any way No, because that's not quite right. I was gonna say, like, appeal to, like, by, like, standing down, if I could appeal in, like, a security fashion, like, I'm attempting to not like, doing what I can to not feel like I am an aggressor, like, just doing the opposite of that, just 'cause I have a my security score is going to be leagues better than my command score, which is
So
a 1.
so in a situation like this, security would probably be used in terms of like stand down.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, like, can I use that knowledge as the, like, inverse? Like
Yeah, it's not gonna be outright threatening, but a security approach on this would be more of a warning to them. Like if they attempt to try
Yeah.
anything.
No, that's not what I
then-
want. I was
yeah.
trying to be like, I want them to know that I am actively doing the opposite of being
Yeah.
threatening.
So I would say that a command would be trying to win them over. If you were trying to use reason, you might actually try to go full 7 of 9 on them and just try to appeal to their common sense of like, I'm here to fix the facility. If you don't believe me, then just kill me if you see me doing something you don't like. Otherwise, I'm going to save your life. Sound good? Because if I was here to kill you, I wouldn't have I wouldn't be here in one of your suits. You know what I mean? You could just throw reason at them.
Reason is probably going to be the way that she has to get through this, just as who she is as a character, but also like my stab luck.
They're engineers, so this might click with them.
Yeah.
They might see the math of what you're about to throw at them.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
It is reasonable.
Okay. So the way this is going to work is it's just a standard. There's no difficulty here. It's just you need to be able to succeed against your own target numbers. So set of it. Let me put it this way: you need at least one success. So you need to set a difficulty of 1. Whatever you roll becomes their difficulty to beat on their check.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna roll my pride die just for luck. Hope for the best here. Giving a sort of listen, no one else is coming, kind of a let me help you or don't.
Right.
So that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Okay.
7 of 9 is a perfect example of somebody who uses presence and reason more than or like reason science.
Yeah.
For their negotiation.
Fun will now commence.
Fun will now commence. Yeah, exactly. The assistance will now commence. I don't have any focuses, which sucks so bad because I would have had a crit, but I don't. But I got a 7 and a 2, and my target number, if it was reason command, I assume, would have been 12. So
okay, so 2 successes.
2 successes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for me.
They're gonna roll.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okie dokie. What is your reason?
My reason is 11.
Okay, it was a tie. It's going to go to you.
Okay. My command is a 1, so glad it wasn't based on that.
You beat them by 1. So there is significant hesitation. You can see in their body language. There's this looking at each other. You can see the eyes swivel as they glance at each other, uncertain.
If I could ask you a question, maybe it would help alleviate some of your hesitation. Has someone who looked like me ever spoken to you outside of telling you that resistance is futile? If I was going to do something untoward, I would have done it already. If that helps.
You speak true from our experiences with you, one says. It seems unlikely you would attempt to trick us. This is unexpected.
I'll tell you what we told the others when we showed up to help, which is your resistance is appreciated. But I do think we are on a clock here. You can keep your weapons aimed at me if it makes you comfortable, but I truly am just here to help. The individual you've been speaking with via knocks on the door is a companion of mine. We genuinely are here to help.
Very well. We seem to have little choice. What is it you intend to do?
We need to get this structure stabilized, get at least some sort of power back online so we can get all of you out of here.
To their credit, one to the left steps forward and says, yes, let me show you where we are currently diagnostically.
Love it.
The other
Am I
two
correct?
look
That
at
was
them-
that was the goal here, was before we could get beam people out, we needed power to stabilize everything.
The problem is the clock is accelerated for the fact that this facility is about to collapse. You guys need the freedom to be able to start beaming people out, which is going to cause reserve power to get pulled. You need to be able to deactivate the tractor beam to get this done in a timely manner.
Got it.
So
That's okay. I just want to make sure I was on the right page.
Yeah. There's a couple of things in play, but that's essentially it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have one who is ready to show me, and the other ones are still like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Danger.
Okay, so one of these Rujin, you hear the skittering sounds.
What?
Yes, it's you're learning a lot of new things about the physiology of these creatures as they move about the. You know what? Mercer got one of these, so I'm gonna take one. So.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll live it down.
Yeah. Oh my!
At least you found it. You know,
we need at least one Sulu. Oh my! But you hear skittering sounds. It's the clacking sounds that you hear like crustaceans make when they're like moving across the bottom of a tank. This thing moves over and positions itself right in front of the computer console. And as soon as it settles in, it immediately draws up a flickering display of the schematics. As the schematics appear, the other two look rather alarmed at how just committed this one is to giving you full access. And they're kind of looking at each other a little hesitantly still, but the other one is just, as you can see, we're having most of our difficulties here. We have no way of knowing how much damage was done during the first seismic event. The facility was not designed to hold the number of people that we currently have, but it was the seismic event that really set things in motion.
This makes sense.
I'm sure that your advanced technologies that you have gotten from your conquests will at least aid us in trying to restore the energy that is currently, well, not present, as it taps on the screen.
We will attempt to use it for some good here. Lead the way.
Right. Jaren, you're on the other side of the door and you've been waiting for an update. There's not been a lot of verbal update, but you are still getting the presence of Tavine on the other side of the door. You're very much aware of her moving about the station. You just don't have a precise location. But you guys,
at one point, you would get a "I'm in" like hacker voice. We're good.
Yeah, I was going to ask y'all. I know that some of y'all have been resisting using your Borg connection. Are you two resisting it, or is that futile?
I am absolutely not resisting it.
I was going to say.
You did specify that using Borg link might be transparent on a signal
that's right.
level.
That's why we weren't using.
That
it.
was why I sonarred over to
Yeah, because we weren't sure if it was if it was going to be all brain talk or if it would just be long distance brain talk that would ping.
Right. So it was not.
Yeah.
We do not know that
don't
at
know.
this time.
Correct.
One could presumably query specifications or something, but we don't know.
Okay, so then in that case, then I would ask this individual if we could swing by the door that's busted, and so I can give a little shave and a haircut knock to the captain.
So, then let me clarify, because your experience of being Borg, the way it would work is it's not necessarily something you would just simply, I can do that. In the case of being Borg, it's not a matter of stumbling upon hidden ability. It's the matter of tuning it out. Because innately it's thrust upon you whether you like it or not. So in this particular case, it's when you get close to Jaren, you can hear Jaren's thoughts unless Jaren doesn't want you to. So that is something you are all aware of. y'all's ability to speak to one another and to interact with one another on a level that's on a whole different level of communication and connection. So it's really, everyone is aware that they can do it. It's just whether or not it's whether somebody lets you in the door.
Mhm.
So I give you this because y'all, if you ever get into a situation where you're wondering if you can just flip open your communicator and contact the ship or whatever, you can think it.
Mhm. Yeah, we thought it was going to put us on the radar of the Borg scout ship. That was why we were
because we
refraining
connected
from.
with the Queen, I thought, right? I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right,
you connected with you more than anything else.
Yeah. So we were like,
it's not like you dialed the wrong number on that one. She kind of she knew the password to the system, so she came a knocking. But yeah.
Honestly, when you get close to the door, you just see or hearing Jiren think of backup plan after backup plan after backup plan after if this then that, if this then that, if this then that.
But I think instead of a physical shave and haircut, you hear Tavine thought like mental shave and haircut, like as if she was knocking on your forehead. Like that's the sensation you get.
I'm guessing he gets the and in your forehead you get the dut.
Oh yeah. We've checked in. That's basically like I'm in. I'm moving around. Keeping it light, just in case.
Jaren, do you have any? Jaren, you could gain access to the facility now if you needed to.
Oh, then yeah, he's for sure coming in.
Okay.
Again, doing his best to see you as peaceful as possible. Hands up. No visible weapons, that sort of thing.
So then, what I'm going to say is because we've already kind of trailblazed it a little bit, I'm going to say it'll just take you this round, I suppose, to move about the station and go in the way that Tavine came in.
Gotcha.
But that's there because Tavine's also powered the airlock and everything. You are good to go on that.
All right.
So, meanwhile, back up in the sphere, you guys have now entered almost visual range now of the facility itself. As you've descended deeper and deeper into the ocean, you're starting to hear the distant protests of the hull of the ship. You're not in any danger right now, but the stresses being put on the hull are starting to become audibly obvious.
If it's stressed, it can file a complaint.
Yep.
We have work-life balance seminars.
It is going to immediately start shutting down all of its transporters as it goes on strike with the other Borg Sphere Union.
But we have pizza parties. Why would they go on strike?
Oh God, I think we are the Borg Union. I think this is
we
our
are.
strike,
Yeah.
actually, is what's happening.
Shout out to Star Trek Online, who created the Borg Cooperative, which are a bunch of liberated Borg under the leadership of 7 of 9. And it's just so rad. I wish they had brought that into Picard, but the Rangers are pretty cool. All right. With that in motion, you guys settle into the, I would say, like a distant orbit of the station itself. There's no immediate feedback right now of the Borg sphere. I would tell you this, though, that as the ecosphere, the bubble that you had all breached in order to get down this low and get closer to the station, as that has begun to collapse, it is causing a rupture and a disintegration of the safety zone around the colony. However, it's also starting to free up your ability to detect outside of the bubble, because that was the thing that was running a lot of interference. So in the next maybe 15-20 minutes, you estimate that you are actually going to start being able to run passive scans to find out if anybody's above the surface looking for you guys. Passive scans, of course, means you won't get detected. It's just kind of keeping an open eye.
Data collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looking up at silhouettes on the water. It's nothing more than that.
Signal receipt, not any kind of transmission.
Right. So,
and we have a frequency band filter to look for.
Right. That's right. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be helpful.
So as you all settle in,
for all those sensor rolls, I'll fail.
Zarya looks like she is very agitated. Like you guys anybody who's open to it can feel that she's. It's itching for a fight, but not because she wants to get into violence. It's itching for a fight because she hates the waiting when there's a fight that could be happening. It's the worst part of the play is right before the curtain rises, not when the play is happening. It's that sort of situation. Any one of your characters that's been in battle, and each of yours knows this quite well. Aside from that, it's the quiet and just the distant creaking sounds.
So we have a little bit of passive feedback across this accursed Borg link. Having established last time that Cadence is apt to engage in battle meditation before altercation, and sensing that Zarya at the moment is feeling rather stressed. Analogous to the way that sometimes if I sense someone is stressed, I will visibly take a deep breath and try to get a mirror neuron response from someone. Cadence will go through their battle meditation to try to get some bleed into the link. I'd like to make a presence command check about that.
Yeah, I dig it. Okay, absolutely.
Wow, it was a nice thought.
With the difficulty of 1, what'd you get?
It was a nice thought.
Oh no.
I didn't get any complications. I just didn't succeed. So I'm chilled out. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. It's like she doesn't even hear it, really. Not really ready for it. She just paces back and forth. You can hear the heavy footsteps. It's becoming clear to you, too, because Zarya is a little different. You can see that her Borg implants look heavier. They look bulkier. Her left arm isn't really a fully extended hand. It is a full-on cybernetic, club is what it looks like, with devices and hooks and cybernetic fingers, like skeletal and thin, arcing out from the end of them. She's a tactical drone. So you see her pacing. When she paces back and forth, it's like a T-800, basically, pacing back and forth, a 600-pound, robot style, just stepping back. She stops and she goes, I'm not used to making this much noise when I move. I'm used to using stealth when I have a fight. This is going to be, well, we're not going to get into a fight necessarily.
Not that type of fight. That's not the plan.
If we can avoid it, we definitely will.
If we're going to be engaged in any kind of boarding action from some borging action, we may have bigger problems. Let's operate on the assumption everything is going to be ship to ship if we get into any kind of encounters.
Right.
Yeah, I think if we can get at least some vague number of how many people are going to be transporting, we can at least get a guesstimation of how long it would take.
It's almost like the sphere responds to your thoughts, but the life forms that are reading aboard the colony numbered about 753.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Now that you guys are closer, it would appear that even your advanced Borg sensors were having difficulty getting exact readings of what you were detecting before through this sphere as you were descending down and deeper into the water. Now you're a little bit closer to the facility. You can actually detect everybody in the station. You can detect the life forms and their clear silhouettes, their size. You can also detect where your other crew members are right now. The sensors are showing that right now, Tavine has just entered the hydrothermal plant, and you're detecting the captain. Your captain is currently kind of having a vertigo moment as they're moving around, edging like on the side of a skyscraper and stepping into a it looks like an airlock that hasn't been blocked by any kind of wreckage. Perhaps it's a functioning airlock.
With that number, how long would it take for us to get everyone on board?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, a little less than an hour back of the envelope.
So, by your estimation, if you were able to reactivate the shielding, stabilize it, and get it started up, and then you can deactivate the tractor beam, beaming everyone onto the Borg sphere, which, taking 753 life forms into account, it would be an extended task. It should take roughly 35 minutes.
Okay. And I might just pulling this number from nowhere, but from what I remember, you said it would take about 45 minutes to an hour for the habitable zone that the shuttle made to become inhospitable again, as the
Yeah,
acid, like,
because
leaks
we
in.
were successful at Operation Crab Cuddle, we've bought some time such that we should come in under estimations, which tracks with 35 minutes to beam, 45 to an hour before things get a little,
Yeah, it's not quite down to
Crabby.
the wire, but it's close enough that it's definitely worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, okay.
You've got some way, because you're able to do what you did. You've managed to not only have you managed to get the attention of the creatures, but assuming that when you manage to finally reach them and roll the Borg sphere across them as you were planning, if that goes according to plan, presumably that will buy you plenty of time. And as a recap for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the plan still is to essentially use the Borg sphere like a medicine ball and roll it across the top of one of these crab creatures to see if you can essentially communicate, because the size of the Borg sphere relative to the size of these creatures, you're not going to harm these creatures at all. The Borg sphere, that might be different, but we'll see. It's tough. It's a tough little ship. Little
It's
as
a tough
in,
little world crab. See, little
Yeah.
is also relative.
if we just kind of look at what we're picking up on passive now, not upward, but proximate.
roll sense of science, please.
Yeah, can I get a ship? Maybe ship's comms kind of assist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. You guys got the stats there?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
cool.
comms, right?
Yeah, and you roll for ships because you're extraordinary at
Yeah.
it.
That's what my luck seems to be.
So we're at what? 2 momentum?
Should be at least 2.
I mean, the two of us are here, so it's 2.
Yeah.
I'd like to take one because I'm dog shit at what? Control science for this?
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Dog shit.
Rolled a 4 for the ship, which I believe is 1 success, I think. Yeah.
I also have 1 success.
Also have 1 success.
That is a total of 2 successes.
2 successes. All right.
I should have asked the difficulty. That would have been helpful. I haven't played this system very much. You must understand.
Okay.
Sheesh.
All right. With that roll, with the same effect as it would be if you rolled into a restroom at a hotel and flipped the light on and there was just somebody standing in the room. As you glance through the sensors on a passive scan, you immediately detect the presence of an object that's roughly 180 meters in length and is created out of the exact same metallurgy as the Borg sphere that you are in. It is roughly 12 kilometers from where you are above. It is submerged and it is moving. It doesn't look like it's moving towards the sphere, but immediately your tactical analysis of this being also a Borg drone is that it is a probe.
I'll put that up for group analysis.
Yeah. Even though the door is not open to Cadence's mind, there's no denying everyone becoming suddenly aware that Cadence has become very aware of something important.
Okay, so that's bad.
vary. Do we, especially with the protective shell down, they're definitely going to, at the very least, sense.
What can we do in terms of countermeasures?
Run interference, maybe get a probe that can send out an interfering signal, but I think that would just further confirm the fact that there's something down here.
I mean, they get too far. That tractor beam is not subtle. So we need to do something. We need to do it quick. Better to have a mediocre chance than a certain sight of the sea beam over here.
Is it possible to basically like make like, I guess, like, not, I don't think a counter probe is the right term for this, but to like scramble or corrupt the info that's being sent back by this probe, or like even like VPN it, say, have it scan.
Do the thing where you loop the security feed,
Yeah, exactly.
but for the probe sensors.
Yeah.
Hack the planet probe.
Make me a. I think I'm gonna have to Aeon make me a quick check here.
Security?
I'm gonna say make a. I'm gonna say make a reason security check.
Really? That's pretty
Or
good.
I'll also allow a daring security check. If you want
I'll
to
go daring.
Okay.
I'll go daring. That's fine. Okay. Let's see if these focuses come into play for any of these. No, I don't think so. I did get one crit though. I got a 1 on 1 of the dice, so that's
Okay.
3 successes.
You just need 1 success, so that's good. Go ahead and bank 2 momentum there.
Oh yeah. Bank 2, and also because of self-reliant, I get 3 bonus momentum. So I'll see what I
nice.
learned from this first, and then
Okay.
I mean 1 bonus momentum. Sorry, because the difficulty was 1.
All right. So to Aeon, that role was basically I was calling upon to Aeon to use his tactical mind to find out what the viability of the strategy would be, so that you know exactly how to implement it or if it's what you're up against before you make a call. You could try fooling them again, but the Borg are notorious not falling for the same trick twice, and you've already fooled them once. So it's possible, yeah, you could probably pull off something if you did a great job on a contested roll, but it's not going to be easy. And usually when the Borg, just by default, if they detect something that if they run across something that's interference, that's evidence of something. So you'll have to get clever. But yes, could you do it? Yeah. Is it going to be hard? It's going to be harder this time.
How does that compare to Borg protocols for apparent equipment failure?
What do you mean?
Like, would they, if a fish were like chomp-a nom on this probe, would they follow up with that, or would, based on what we can understand of Borg SOP, would they respond by actually following up, or would it be like a shit happens?
If a bonus momentum for this, if
oh yeah, that's brilliant.
Okay, so you're okay. So using a bonus momentum, and you want to know if you spend.
If we break the thing rather than hack the thing, will they also investigate, like if they think they've been had?
Yes. If something were to happen to you know for a fact that if something were to happen to this probe, if it was destroyed, or if it broke, or just went offline or lost connection, then that would immediately summon the ship over to the location where the probe was last detected.
Okay.
That would be Borg aggro for sure. Because Borg will ignore things until they perceive a threat.
Yeah. We should prepare to hack it. If we break it, it'll alert them. If once it inevitably detects something, that will alert them. No reason not to roll the dice.
Yeah. Especially since we can't exactly move right now anyway. Let's see what I can do.
Yep.
All right. So you're going to attempt to gain access to the probe?
Access, yes.
Access. Okay. All right. This is probably the best possible scenario for you then. Yeah, because fooling it is, as Cadence has pointed out, yeah, every angle is going to be tricky. Okay, so if you're going to try to hack this thing, that is going to be, I don't think that'd be a security check. I think that's a science. Let me double check. I'll look at the traits here. Scientific problem, analyze data, perform a delicate experiment. Oh, you know what? It might be communications actually for the department. Con engineering. Okay. And restrain. So many choices. It might actually be. Yes. Fine. What are your best stats out of curiosity?
Best in my department is obviously security, and then command and control are drawn at 3. My best in attributes are fitness, and then control, daring are drawn for second place.
You are 100% security officer, tactical officer. Yeah. Double tap for a reason. I think this is going to be more of an engineering check. Alter the communication systems, a breakthrough interference or function non-standard frequency. Yeah, simulation device output. Alter, reinforce. Yeah, so I think this is going to be communications engineering for the ship. That's going to be the department plus system for the ship. So whoever's going to roll for that. And for the actual thing itself, I want to say it's security, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to be an engineering check.
For that,
I think it's going to be a control engineering. Let me just double check. Educated guess, presence, reason. Oh, we've never actually done. I'm going to hack a Borg probe before.
I mean, Rue had a bit of hacking we put under control security, as I recall.
In second edition, control security is to attack an enemy from a distance or to stay unseen and unnoticed when moving amongst hostile creatures.
Yeah, it's a cyber attack.
Which is why I think it would probably lean more towards something that would require finesse, like I think it would require something more like engineering or science. Yeah, I think it's going to require engineering. Understanding, designing, repairing, maintaining technology, using any technology, not specifically. Yeah, I'm going to say it's engineering, and I'll make it a control engineering check.
I can do that. That's not too bad. I should roll under a 13.
Adjust, repair, sophisticated device or system, kind of the same thing. So I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Okay. Do I know what the difficulty is going into this?
Yes. You are hacking a Borg probe. The default difficulty setting for this right out of the gate is 5.
Okay. How much momentum do we have right now? I think we gained 2, so we're at 3 momentum right now. Is everyone qualified to use all of them?
Juice it.
2 dice, yeah. Yeah, I want to use all of them to get 2 dice, to extra dice. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I can do right now.
All right.
I don't think I have any focuses that really apply. So I just need to get success in all of this and a success on the ship helping me.
You know what? Let's make this easier then. I'm gonna make this. This will be a little more interesting. I'm gonna make this a contest an opposed check because you're trying to break through its security systems rather than a flat difficulty. You're basically trying to hack into an AI. So, in which case, the difficulty would be set at 1, and then whatever you roll is going to be their difficulty to resist.
Okay.
Okay. We do have the trait. We are Borg. Is that going to assist here at all in this role?
Theoretically, it could actually count against you. because you were actually linking up with a Borg system still connected to the collective. So it could give you advantage, and it's a double-edged sword because technically, yeah, I think if you initiated that trait, you could definitely use that as a way of reducing the difficult or like raising the difficulty of their chances to resist because you know their system so well. But you're going up against the collective, so yeah.
I think I'll go with this. I'll just hope.
Use up that difficulty as much as you can.
Yeah. Okay, on a roll.
Okay. Tell me.
Okay. Okay, and I need to roll under 13. Okay, yeah. Okay. I got I need the ship to succeed here. I got 4 successes.
Nice.
So whoever's rolling for the ship, we just need 1.
Yeah. What we we're on what, computer security?
Mhm.
Okay.
For the departments and system.
Yeah, that's a crit from the ship.
Ooh.
So how many total successes?
I think that's 6.
6. Okay, cool. So that's I am going to spend some threat to buy some dice. I'm gonna spend. Let's see. I want to spend here. You know what? I think I'm just gonna juice it. I want to catch y'all. Y'all have ducked and dodged me at every possible chance. I have not caught any of you doing anything this whole time. I have thrown so much threat at you. I think I'm gonna try.
No, I understand. People often hate our incredible crew because they're so successful and cool.
It's true. Yeah.
And cute. And wear nice hats.
And as a bearded white dude, using the power of my feelings of inadequacy to unleash rage against those who are not mediocre is kind of like my birthright. So I'm going to.
It's good to be in tune with your heritage.
All right. I'm gonna. Yep. Okay. Cool. How much do I want to spend here? Let's do. Sure. I'm gonna spend 2, 4, 5. I'm gonna give myself 3 dice to this pool. Yep. All right. Cool. So, adding 3 dice to the pool, that's gonna jack me up to 5. I'm burning 6 threat. There are 5 dice in this pool. Let's see if I can beat Drac. How many successes was it? 6?
6, yeah.
And we're rolling. I rolled 3 successes
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
on
All
5d20.
right. Well done.
We're just that good. Let's go.
I rolled-
We're gifted.
I rolled a 14, an 18, an 18, a 5, and a 15.
thank goodness.
Okay. You make connection. You are immediately connected to the probe and sensing where the probe is. As you make that connection, the ship, you gain access to its sensors and you can see what it sees. It was currently headed in your direction, having detected an anomaly. I actually had down here a little quiet clock that was ticking, and it is just by pure happen chance that Sam requesting a passive sensors check gave up the game. But
I wanted to see if I could hear what the crabs said.
And instead, you detected somebody in the tall grass creeping over. So this probe is roughly 8 kilometers overhead and was descending to investigate the anomaly it was detecting here in the water column. As soon as you gain access to it, the probe is initially aware of an unknown presence. It initiates a security protocol, and then you immediately silence that protocol before it can alert the collective. So you have access to it right now, and you have command of the probe at the moment. So there's something to keep in mind. How the probe behaves could technically alert the Borg that something is up. So you do have control of it right now. What would you like to do now that you have command of the probe?
From the one, can I tell that they've already sent the I guess notification that they
Yes, it's connected to the collective, and it's real
did it right.
timing everything that's happening. Everything
Yeah.
this probe is detecting, the Borg overhead are experiencing as it detects it.
Okay.
So they are now
Um,
also aware that it's detected an anomaly.
And is it visuals or is it all is there like a camera attached to this thing, or is it like
Borg have the
scanning?
capability of
Data.
yeah, it has 360
It's
vision
data.
all over it. So
Okay.
it has the ability to, but down here, visual doesn't do you much good. It's using it's
Yeah.
essentially using its sensors and running sweeps all over the place.
It how far above us is it? Not that far, not that far.
Yeah, roughly close to about 8 kilometers or so, 6 to 8 kilometers.
What would be the anticipated hull stress range at depth? We're experiencing it in a whole ass sphere.
Mm-hmm.
If they were starting to read internal sensor signs of increasing hull stress with depth, the logical entailment would be to not progress further. Right? Otherwise, you just go smoosh.
Theoretically, probes are pretty sturdy. Many of them are designed to do things as go into the photosphere of a star. They can withstand incredible amount of punishment. This one is it is dramatically smaller than the sphere, but keeping in mind, a Borg probe is still roughly the same size as an Intrepid class starship.
I
So
wouldn't trust an Intrepid down here.
no, Voyager would probably want to stop at some point. The Sally Ride would not want to go deeper than where you guys are at this point.
So what is this hull stress reading now, actually? Since I think we got a little bit of momentum to play with, yeah? We
Well,
got another 3 from that.
it theoretically could withstand the pressures of where you guys are at right now. If it continued to descend like towards the bottom where you were thinking of going, that's questionable. That would be, it might be able to maintain that, but not for very long.
Pardon, Tam?
I was muted, sorry. I'm trying to figure out the equivalent of looping the security footage of grabbing the scanned data from an uninhabited section of the planet and just having that patch up the space where they may
loop the
detect
security
us.
footage, in other
We
words.
could extrapolate from our data coming in. Remember, we got we descended.
Yeah, we descended, and we know
So as long as
what's
we just
underneath.
adjusted the camera angle, so to speak, we already had view of everything.
True.
Yeah, I want to give that a try. I want to Photoshop out this settlement from the data.
Deep fake the
Exactly. Deep fake the deep water
Yeah,
settlement.
Okay. All right. It's funny to me because no matter what the mission profile, no matter what the campaign is, from diplomatic to reserve fleet, there is no taking the science vessel out of you, Sam Delev. there is no y'all
You told me if we shot it or broke it that it would instantly alarm anything, so I have to. Do I wanna? No. I want to do weird ship stuff and crack the thing like an Easter egg. But no, we gotta do the science thing. And then Eric comes in, he's like, I'm so surprised. I'm the shocked Pikachu myself that you should be doing science.
This is how you know somebody is neck deep in their own paradigm, because they think that they have to do the science. I couldn't just blow it up. You told me that they'd be alerted.
Yeah, they'd be alerted. We're trying to not alert them.
Well, either way,
I don't look.
You start feeding it back. You successfully hacked this thing. So is it going to fool the collective as they see this data? That's a different story. But as you begin to relay the information back, there's no immediate reaction as the data is going back to its mothership, as it were. So wherever the Borg are currently located, as they're receiving this data, there's no ping reply. They're receiving everything you're sending back. Whether or not they're falling for it, that's a different matter. However, I will give you this. If you're willing to spend a momentum, this probe will tell you where the Borg ship is because it is reporting back. So you can simply use it as a periscope if you want to burn the momentum for it.
Absolutely burn momentum. I think having eyes on this would be a good idea.
Okay. So burning that momentum reveals that there is currently a scout class vessel that is station keeping just above the surface of the water, roughly 10 kilometers above you. They dropped this, they literally just shot the probe down into the water, and they too are currently running scans. However, it would seem that the bubble that you were all in is still causing enough interference where they have not been able to detect you guys. Now, having fed them back this false data, though, you're going to find out in the next turn whether or not it's going to work. And I'm going to ask for one more roll because now you're trying to fool the Borg into believing the data that they just received. They're not going to be able to, if they can detect the deep fake or not. If they look at, that's photoshopped. Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay. How much momentum do we have?
Momentum.
We should have had 3 net from that opposed check alone.
But then we just spent one to get the
to get
the
down to 2. But were we not running at a surplus earlier? Because we started the scene with 2. I took 1.
And I rolled 3 successes, so y'all banked a few on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we should be at minimum 4.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I think that's
2 down to 1. And then I got we didn't know the difficulty level, and then an additional 3, and then 1 more, and then -1. 1 plus 2.
Okay. I'll use 3 momentum again to get 2 more die.
All right.
Okay. This is a contested roll, so difficulty is 1. Same stats as last time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything here that will help me.
Same for the ship too. Security, communications, and
damn, I got excited for a second. I saw 2 ones. I was like, "Oh my god, did I succeed in all of them?" But the other 2 didn't succeed. So I only got 4 successes, with 2 of them being 1.
Well, the good news is I burned 6 damn threat trying to eat you last time, so I don't think I'm going to be able to afford getting it this time. Let's find out how this goes. It is a probe though, so it's got. Yeah, I'm going to spin threat to. Get 1 extra die. See if I can get you this time. All right, here we go. Oh, I need to find out how much the ship rolled. How did the ship do? Before I make this check. So we got at least 3 successes. Is that right?
I got 4 successes.
4 successes.
On my roll.
Yeah. All right. So what's the security communications do for us from the Borg sphere on the assist?
That's another. Hang on. That might actually be. Yeah, that's another crit. That's another 2 successes.
Okay.
So 6 successes again.
Unless I roll 3 crits, I rolled 3 6. I did roll a crit, but it's 3 successes. I rolled a 16, a 1, and a 17.
Get 3 momentum back. Okay.
All right, third 5.
The Borg send the command to the sphere, to the probe immediately to move on to the next sector for scanning.
Let's go.
Wonder they've moved on.
Okay. Good work, Double.
You erase any of your presence in that system as you kind of step back out, and it moves on. Indeed, it just like a submarine of death, it just continues moving away in the deep and pushes away from your location. It is without a momentum spend that I will give you, Drac, that once you guys start initiating beaming, there's a chance they might come about. But because of the exquisite rolls and the tomfoolery that y'all just got up to, the advantage is not going to be in their favor. There's a very real chance now that the Borg never detect what you guys are about to try to pull off. So, I'm going to give you guys a trait for the scene. All quiet here. The Borg do not think anything is happening over here after multiple clever little countermeasures. They've moved on to the next sector as they continue their scans. All right.
Double hack, let's go.
I think Turn like leans back and just goes, now that that's gone well, would it be a bad time to say that this was actually my worst part of the academy? I was not very good with stuff like this.
Bet this came in handy in the Dominion War, though. Anytime I could avoid a fight with Jim Hadar, it was a good day.
Yeah, those would have been short fights from where I was sitting.
Turn like rubs their chest where they got the blast.
Right.
Well done. And I guess like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, metal.
Clank.
Maria raises the club and just goes, and chooses her offhand instead. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and set the scene here. Because of the shenanigans just committed by the Ducky Medicine Ball, that you guys are now going to have a lot of cover to get this done. While this has happened, as you finished initiating this countermeasure, the sphere continues to descend deeper and deeper into the water. For Jaren, who is just now entering the facility, just as he's about to step in, he can hear the ominous humming sound of a large Borg sphere moving past the cliffside and descending deeper. But you wouldn't be able to see anything except for the vague, sickly green glowing lights that emanate from within the power systems of this giant Borg sphere as it descends. It almost looks like its own version of a sickly bioluminescence that is quite unnatural as it descends deeper and deeper into the abyss. You guys are starting to hear the hull begin to really protest. The tractor beam angles so that you guys can keep it into your line of sight. Just to give you an idea, of course, too, the power and distance of tractor beam. You guys can reach the bottom and still have this thing in a tractor beam. Keeping in mind that tractor beams are obviously used on stellar scale, which means a couple of kilometers down is not changing anything. You guys can essentially keep line of sight and have that tractor beam going. As it continues to angle down, of course, the tractor beam shifting a little bit causes this facility to rumble, but doesn't move. Everyone inside can hear the vibrations as the energy begins to shift. And anybody who would look out the window would see this fabulous light display of this Borg sphere, just the surface of it glowing in the dark as this green energy beam is lancing out and enveloping the entire facility as you all descend deeper and deeper into the dark. At that point is when Captain Jaren is going to get into the facility itself. When we come back from our break, here's what you're going to have ahead of you. You're going to have a challenge and an extended task. And I will tell you now that on the other side of these challenge and descended task is mission success. The challenge is reactivating the shielding to stabilize the facility, which is going to be a 3-step process. You've done this before in our earlier episodes when you were trying to save a certain transport from blowing up. In this case, how the challenge goes is going to determine the difficulty and what you're up against with the extended task. And the extended task is beaming everyone off the station before the Borg find out what you're up to. It'll be their last chance to detect you guys. If they can't spot you, then y'all are going to get away completely clean. We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. Don't go anywhere. And don't confuse skittering with other words.
Or do.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to jump right back into our session here. When we last left off, the crew had cleverly and quite skillfully hacked a Borg probe, being Borg themselves, and fooled it into a sensor gap, thinking that the bottom of the ocean was actually quite clear and there was nothing down here worth scanning and the anomaly was a mistake. The probe has now moved on with its mothership in tow. Instead of scanning a different area, you guys have a limited window here to operate without anybody looking in your direction, which means it's entirely possible based off the series of rolls and stopgaps you have constantly thrown up in front of the Borg. You have managed to evade detection thus far. We're starting off the scene now with Captain Jaren has just entered the interior of the facility. The doors have closed behind, and the 3 engineers of the Rusian two of them are expressing a heightened sense of agitation and anxiety, but not making any moves as Jaren enters the facility. The third one, though, has been extremely helpful to you. Tavine, you have learned that this particular Rusian's name is Kibius, and he was second in command of the facility before it was shaken. It does inform you that the master engineer of the facility was killed in the initial disaster. He was in actually the corridor leading into back to the main facility when it collapsed, along with 6 others. They've been trapped in here, keeping things online and trying to find out. You've seen that they've come up with some pretty clever ways of rerouting power, but this is going to require some finessing. There is enough energy coming out of the thermal vents. The only thing you don't know, and I'm putting this out there, is you're not 100% sure what drawing upon the powers, getting this thing back up online, it's possible it could cause a reaction from the creatures, but it's not clear. You're so small compared to these things that it's entirely possible it won't even be noticed. But we'll see. So, cutting right back into it, Jaren has entered the room. You see your captain dripping with seawater as steps through the threshold and the airlock closes behind you, Jaren. You see the same situation that I had described before, this large cavernous room filled with all these cathedral-like technological devices that are arcing up into the darkness overhead, some flickering lights, almost like a horror movie, but it's more of a disaster situation, as the scariest creatures in this room would technically be you and Tavine. The 2 Rusian are kind of huddled together with a 3rd engineer, and you can see your chief helms officer is in the middle of having a quick conversation when she notices you.
Captain, you made it.
Quite the journey, but I'm here now. It looks like you've got everything situated. Is there anything that you require of me?
Your planning mind, sir. Here's what we're working with, and we'll share what Kibius has showed us so far.
So the situation is you're going to need to reactivate the shielding to stabilize this facility. It's a 3-step process. And you and the captain are probably the only one that have the engineering acumen to pull off what you're about to try. They would have done this a long time ago if they could do it. They don't have the same engineering technology and acumen as you two do. So Kibius is just watching with curiosity and rapt fascination. Oh, is this your commanding officer?
Yes.
Captain,
Hello.
it's a pleasure.
Extraordinary. My name is Kibius. I'm the 2nd engineer here in the facility. It's a real pleasure to meet and speak to. Forgive me, my people have a very terrible name for. What did you?
As is your right.
Borg is what you call yourselves. Forgive me. Yes. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to speak to Borg. Most of them are not conversationalists.
Oh yeah, they have their favorite sentence, but you'll find that we're of the more verbose variety.
Captain,
when we make our way back in and get you back situated with your crew, you'll have to ask, my gosh, why can't I think of their name? Lazui. We've given Lazui the rundown on why we are here to help. You'll get more information then, but for now, let's...
Yes, that is all exactly what I was about to say, including wrapping up by suggesting that maybe this should be a better time for this. Quite intuitive. Please let me know what I can do to help. It seems you're quite familiar with my systems already.
Yeah, we had a gander. So it's a 3-step process. Where is the first step? Like, where do we have to go to engage in that?
So as you step up next to your helms officer, this facility, the control consoles that y'all are at right now, looks like this is probably the primary. To assist, you're going to need somebody at Station 2. Kibius immediately informs you that Station 2 is in a rather precarious part of the station right now. It's partially flooded.
Captain, if I have unfortunately drained my, I guess not all, I would assume, but most of my.
Yeah,
My
I would say
suits.
it's in the process of regenerating.
If you would be so kind as to get your feet wet again, it may be better than me trying.
It's a good thing I'm a powerful swimmer, of course. Yeah, I'll just follow to where I need to be.
Okay, Kibius says, I will go with your captain then. And the two of you stay here and assist. The two of them don't respond. Their eyes, without moving their upper bodies, the thorax stays exactly where it is. Their eyes swivel back and forth nervously and say, you see Kibius say, fate of our people depend on it. You've got this, yes? We're good? You've got this. One of them finally says, yes, we have this. You're right. Good. Whatever she needs, give that to her. A very skilled engineer. She is now second. I'm first.
I could take some commanding lessons from you.
As Kibius is leading you up to the second command station, Kibius says, I've discovered that when Rujin are afraid, it is best to just pretend like you know exactly what you are doing. I've never commanded before. I want people to get out of my way when there are numbers involved. They're in the way. I want them to shut up and leave. I just want to do the numbers. And their fear is irritating. I'm woefully lacking in empathy. I admit.
But you make up for it in self-awareness, so there's that.
True. I'm quite good at pretending to be empathetic so that I do not make people uncomfortable. But many a time, those who are not possessed by fear will sense my deception and often call me out on it. It is why I never made first. But now the first is dead, so I am first.
The old waiting game. And don't brag too much about being able to pretend all the empathy. They might think you're a sociopath.
Oh, I know. I worry about that sometimes. I'm curious about the psychology of your species. It would seem we have similar concepts. We too have our own version of sociopath. It's quite disturbing. Although sometimes sociopaths are rewarded in society, and I have yet to understand this. It's wholly inefficient. As he moves over to the console and begins to activate, you see the secondary reactor on the other side. The console is indeed, it looks like, is in a partially flooded compartment. It says, the pressure is still stabilized inside somewhat. It looks like I'll be able to enter the facility without the use of a suit. That is good. We don't have any right now. I shall accompany you, and the two of us should be able to restore this. I think so. Your officer seems to be quite competent.
Some of the best.
Captain,
barely deserve them.
If we survive this, Captain, can we just sit down and speak? I would love to know more about the Borg now that you are speaking to me.
If I can, I will.
Thank you.
Though you're going to be getting information from a interesting perspective, but we will delve deeper into that should we find ourselves able to talk.
You hear a clickering sound. It's a translator. Deeper.
I don't know what it looks like when a Borg laughs at an innuendo, but I'd imagine it's kind of terrifying.
There is a moment in TNG. It lasts for all of 3 seconds, and it never happens again until Star Trek Generations. There is a moment in TNG where everyone around Data just laughs at something. It's the episode where Wesley comes back, and everyone breaks out laughing at a joke that was told, and Data clearly misses it. And Brett Spiner does this hilarious thing where he decides to join in on the laughter, but he's completely straight-faced. So he just goes, ha, 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 and then he goes right back into his dialogue like nothing had happened. It's precious. I highly recommend checking it out. The doors open to the interior of the secondary airlock, and water just comes rushing forward. You can hear just over the roar of the flooding water as Kibius says, "We should hurry inside."
All right.
You
Holy ass.
Yeah, the power, I mean, it's a feeling, Darren. The power of your Borg body, the legs push through the onrush of water easily as you just stomp through the pounding of the water just rushing out. Kebius able to use his physiology to his advantage, clawing his way in and just locking his feet essentially into the grating and pulls himself in. The doors close in behind you again, and the water begins to fill back up to about the halfway point. And you see the consoles in here are alive. You can see in the computer console itself in front of you that your Helms officer is in the system and awaiting you. It's time to make some rolls, y'all.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So with you, Sharon, I'm going to let you kind of pitch me how you're going to roll it, but here's what the primary roll is going to be.
Mhm.
The primary roll for this is this is the challenge. Step one of the challenge is to reactivate the shielding to stabilize the facility. That is going to require you to repair the emergency power conduits by rerouting some of the energy to stable reactors. In order to do that, I'm going to need a control plus engineering check from you, Caitlin, at a difficulty of 3. Now, as a quick reminder, this is a 3-step process to get the reactor back up online and shields going again. If you succeed, then you've bought yourself even more time to get people beamed off of the facility. If you don't, well, we'll see what happens there. But one thing I will say is, after this challenge is going to be an extended task roll to beam everyone off of the facility. And complete that, it's mission accomplished. It's just getting the duck out of Fodge after that point. So, what would you like to assist with, Captain Jaren?
I think this might. Okay, so I'm so sorry. One more time. What exactly am I accomplishing here?
So you're assisting right now. You're assisting Taveen. Taveen is going to be making a control plus engineering check with a difficulty of 3. Now, right now, you're having to lean more into the technical side of things to assist because you're at a secondary station. So, whatever you've got in ways of technology or manipulating technology, like if you've got,
what do we need these 2 stations to do together?
Yeah, essentially you can, I'm giving you guys the freedom to tell me how, if you want to come up with a creative way of doing it, but I'm
technobabbling.
Either way, you're getting the assist roll. I just want to hear how you see it, the assist happening. Got it. You could do something like you could use control command to just like be a second set of eyes in the system.
I'll do that. I like that.
I figured you
overseeing.
Yeah. I figured that's kind of in line with what Jaren does best.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yeah. So it's difficulty 3. Okay. Go ahead and make that.
We had 4 momentum. We're in a new scene, so we're down to 3. I would like to grab a momentum if that's
sure. I'll grab one as well if that's all right.
Okay.
Okay. That's not great. That's 17.
Oh, it's just 1d20.
Oh, well, I'm assisting. Duh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me reroll that.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 4.
Even better. How'd you do, Caitlin?
I rolled 3 successes.
Bank of success. Yeah, it's gonna. So you managed to reactivate and repair by rerouting emergency power into the functioning reactors. So that is going to move us on to step 2. Step 2 is reinitializing the reactor startup. So essentially, it's like a quick reboot of the reactor now that you have the energy flowing into it. This is going to be another control. Oh, actually, you can use daring or control plus engineering on this one.
I'm good with control engineering.
Okay. The difficulty of this is only 2. Okay. But however, because of the state of the facility, the threat range is increased. So if you roll an 18 or higher, it is a complication.
Do I get another assist from Captain?
Yep. Jaren is going to be assisting. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm going to take that momentum I just
4.
got back just to buy another die because I'm scared. Oh, that is another 3 successes for me. So 4 total. So
okay.
That's two bonus momentum.
No 17s. That's good. No 18s, rather. 18s are higher. Okay. You all, it takes a few minutes. You receive confirmation from the captain as he basically is monitoring everything that's happening on the other systems while you're focusing on this one. You reroute the power to the main reactor. You can hear next to you, Jaren, Kibius is getting excited. There's clicking sounds from those forward mandibles as he just goes, this is going so well. You work so efficiently. I will be quiet.
Your excitement is contagious. I appreciate it.
I'm very happy about the idea of living. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited about the prospect of you living too.
Next step, the final step. This has taken about 15 minutes so far as y'all are working furiously on the consoles. The next step is initiating the safety systems. This will reactivate the shielding around the facility and stabilize the facility. So this is a control engineering check again. And because you've succeeded the previous two, the difficulty of this one is only 2. The threat complication range is still 18 or higher, though.
Okay.
So let's have that roll.
I'm gonna, because we got bonus. I'm gonna buy that die back again because they can just dropping that. It's like artists sending the same $10 around for forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. 2 successes and a complication. I rolled a 19.
Excellent.
It was bound to happen.
Okay. Jaren, how'd you do?
Let's see. I've got my 4.
You rolled another 4?
Oh wait. Is this the third time? I'm so sorry. Here we go.
Roll a 4.
I wish I could tell you that I rolled a 4, but I rolled a delta on the Star Trek thing, so I think that's a 20.
Oh, isn't that a crit?
No, a delta is a crit. It's a 1.
1.
Oh shit! Yeah, because I had a 20 on it.
It's so funny. We had this conversation. Someone has that reaction like once every 2 months. As like
I just want to make sure.
I do the same thing.
Drac, you said, "Oh, please tell me that you've always known that the delta is a crit." You've known that, right? You haven't.
I've known that. Yeah. I heard a 20 and I was like, "Oh no, not a 20." When
amazing. Okay, so bank those successes.
4 with 2 banked. We're up to 5 momentum, and then 1 lovely little complication.
Complication is you do too good of a job getting the power activated. Facility activates. Everybody inside main hub. The lights flicker to life. The shield activates. Outside, immediately, this entire facility begins to glow as all the lights begin to switch on. Power feeds through all of the systems. On the other side of the facility, all of a sudden, the air scrubbers start blasting new, fresh air into the facility. As this cool breeze begins to fill it up, there's, for anybody who would have been over there, would have experienced the gasps of delight and excitement and the equivalent, the Russian equivalent of applauding taking place. The clacking sounds of crab harms together. As this is happening, however, though, as you are all descending in the sphere, you all see on passive sensors the facility light up like a Christmas tree on passive sensors as it goes to full power, just immediately causing this clinch up from Zarya, who sees that and goes, "Oh, what are the odds they didn't see that?"
How distant is the probe from us now?
I'll check.
Can I take action to go quiet running? I know it happens still, but
yeah, you can take that action here in a moment.
Okay, cool.
You can essentially do like you were suggesting, a silent running where you bring this facility down to minimum.
Mm-hmm. I know it already happened, but I don't want, as long as it's, I don't want it.
You're getting the effects of the complication. I'm going to roll. Yes. But I'm going to roll to see if you guys are detected.
Yeah.
So the probe, at least, which you have an approximation on because it's here in the water column with you guys, the probe, has almost entered the next sector, which is about 10 kilometers from here to the east of where you all are.
We're working for a while.
I'm going to make a check here. I'm going to set that I'm in, because of all of the successes you have all had, I'm going to set the difficulty high for the Borg to detect this, because it's a flash. It's like a flash in the pan for a split second. They're running active scans, but they're not looking in the direction that they came from. They're running sweeps in front of them as they are proceeding to the next sector, convinced that you guys are not where you are. So I'm going to set the difficulty of this roll for the Borg at 4.
Can I do a thing? I read it late, but I want to pitch something.
Okay.
Because of my hacking and all of our successes, I think it ended with the hacking. We got the traits. Was it like
All quiet here?
all quiet here?
Oh yeah.
We never talked about it, but we did this. We basically did the mission logs of basically leveling up. And one of the things I got to my level up was an award called Starfleet Decoration of Gallantry. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. I got 2 awards. So the other award, the Grand Kite Order of Tactics. And basically what happens here is once per mission, when the character creates a trait that reflects or represents some kind of strategy or tactic, they may automatically add a level of potency to the trait. I want to add a level of potency to that trait to make it a bit harder.
Read the first part of that again, sorry.
Once per mission, when the character creates a trait that reflects or represents some strategy or tactic, they may automatically add a level of potency to that trait.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of on the nose, isn't it? You literally created a tactical situation with Cadence so that they could not detect you guys. So
I'll let add a level of potency.
That I will raise the difficulty to 5 for them to detect you guys. Okay. I am going to spend threats to buy dice. Because I need to. Y'all are making this very hard on me.
Mwahaha.
Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. I could spend... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to burn my last threat and buy 2 dice. So I'm rolling 4d20.
40? Surely that's too many dice, Eric.
Needed 5. So I needed 5, and I rolled 11, 5, 9, and 20. So, it's one of those moments where it's kind of like you sneeze when the killer is just walking past the doorway of the room and they pause. Because you don't know if you... It's like those moments in Alien Isolation where you're hiding under the desk and you can see the xenomorph's feet walking past you and you're wondering if the thing is just going to, crouch down and look at you. It's kind of that situation where that flash pan, you guys can see in the passive sensors, and you can imagine immediately Tavine must have reacted quickly because the power level output of the facility drops to a level at bare minimum where you guys are just barely detecting it. There is a waiting game to find out if you guys experience a sensor sweep, the game is up. Essentially, if you hear the sonar ping of a sensor, you'll know that they've spotted you. There's a good few moments where everyone just waits to see if it happens, and nothing happens. Passes.
Okay. Seems like we might be all clear.
Yeah.
You can now deactivate the tractor beam on the facility as well.
I'm going to do that then.
All right. Just as you deactivate it, you guys are starting to hear the hull react as you're passing deeper and deeper into the ocean. You were about 1 kilometer away from these creatures. What's remarkable is at this range, Cadence, the sensors are giving you more detail of the essentially the landscape cartography of the situation, as it were. You're being able to see a little bit of not only just the outlines of the creatures, but you're seeing that much how some species have like markings that make them unique, like whales have different flukes. These creatures almost seem to have different structures of exoskeleton built like mountain ranges that become like identifiers for each one. You can see a range of different species of these different types of these creatures all lingering here.
Does that seem intentional or is it a fluke?
Well, you can ask them. You'd have to swim though to get out of it.
I was trying to at least see whether they had some language, but unfortunately, there was a probe coming right up our six. A place I don't want probes in my sphere.
You're the aliens here. All right.
So are these people we're trying to help.
We're going to go ahead and I'm going to have you make a piloting check because we're at the moment. The moment has arrived.
Hello, moment.
There's two things to be aware of. As the Borg sphere nears these creatures, right now, the sphere itself is withstanding a tremendous amount of stress to the hull. So it's not particularly sustainable, but you guys are hanging in there. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say the shields are going to take 3 points of damage. And this is not reflective of a per round damage because that would be vicious. This is more of just like the past 10 minutes of the slow descent down deeper and deeper, the punishment.
Understood.
Yeah. So as you reach this creature, go ahead and make me a piloting check. Now, I just want to reiterate to everyone who's watching what Sam is doing here. You are literally rolling a Borg sphere across the back of a Titan-scaled life form as a way of doing a hello. like the finessing that it is going to take would only be possible with an expert pilot who is neural linked into this propulsion system as you are. So, Cadence, on that note, I'm going to ask you, do you wish to go full Borg in order to pilot the craft on this, or are you trying to do this the old-fashioned way?
You're doing this I haven't been after the threat spend that you made, if you'll recall. I
You've been linked up. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was last episode.
Okay.
So no, we're in this, baby.
Okay,
we
in that case,
Borg ship.
With that in mind, then this ship is essentially an extension of you.
Yes.
And so I'm going to reduce the difficulty of what you are trying to do. The difficulty is going to drop down to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a difficulty 4 check with a very high complication range. So I'm going to set the complication range. Well, no, I'll set the difficulty at 3, and then the complication range is going to be high. So
does expanding complication range require threat?
Nope, not in 2nd edition. So I'm going to set the complication range. However, I am open if you would like to create something to nullify the complication range. I'm open to that if you've got momentum to burn for it.
I mean, being good at my job seems, no, I think I have to eat the complication range. However, I have the hotshot and the test pilot traits.
That is all very true. Yes, those would definitely come into play here.
Those are the exact things that will let me do a new maneuver on a ship that nobody friggin' flies.
Yeah. 259. You didn't challenge the ruling. I'm just letting everybody know. The game master can fully rule upon what complication range applies to any given task attempt, but there should always be some justification given. A trait may provide sufficient reason to increase the complication range. Blah blah blah. Threat represent. Yeah. So, but yes, all of what you just described. I mean, literally the traits that describe somebody who takes a ship and does something they probably shouldn't be doing with it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
This I would say qualifies. So yeah, I'm gonna take a point for a third die.
Okay, so the complication.
So we were, just for housekeeping, we were at 5, new scene down to 4. Now you're taking one down to 3.
Correct.
So my rationale: the unknown of the situation, the unknown of the life form, the depth, the maneuver that you're pulling, and you're making contact. So I'm setting the complication range at 5. This is the highest I can go. It's 16 or better. It's a complication.
You're right. It is first contact.
It technically is first contact, yes. I'm so glad I don't have to reward momentum for puns. Because you would have achieved like
I would have
We would not need
Scrooge
place
McDucked
Nick
that
at all.
shit.
you'd be a cube at this point. You'd be a Q.
So the remind me one more time, the base difficulty of 4.
Base difficulty is 3 because of
base
your
difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Because of the interlink, and then 2
Interlinked.
for the traits.
Yes.
Or I guess probably you would want I should only apply one of my traits.
One of your traits, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have 2 traits.
The sphere also gets to assist here. So whoever wants to roll for it.
Yeah, roll for Ducky.
So this is actually going to be a structure plus con roll for the sphere. So that's
con,
which is good because the structure is one of the sphere's highest stats. So 12
yeah,
and con is 3. So you need a 15 or lower.
I rolled a 3, so I got a crit.
That's a crit. How did you do, Cadence?
So I rolled a 3, which is a crit, a 14, which is a pass on anything that's a piloting check. And then I rolled a 20, but I have cool, so I re-rolled it, and now it's a 5. So that's a total of 5 successes.
Wow.
Let's go.
You guys constantly robbing me of just catastrophic.
A 5 on your own or 5 including the ship assist?
That's 5 from me. Yeah.
So
a
7
total
total.
of
Damn.
7.
That's 7 total.
I think we
God
are
damn.
let's see, 3 plus 7 out of difficulty 2. So we have 2 floating. We should put a trait on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rollover.
Okay.
I would like the trait to be named rollover. No.
All right.
The crab just spins off.
Trait docile?
I like that. Or
Smooth
soothe.
ride,
Or great
something like
snuggly?
Yeah.
like a
Trait,
gentle touch.
Thanks, I
or-
needed that.
Thanks.
Yeah, that one.
Cairo crab tick. Is there anything in there? Like a Cairo crab turd?
Yeah, that all
Yeah.
works. Yeah. A maneuver that many in the brass would consider incredibly reckless and presumptive and dangerous and outside the box and just completely out of bounds.
Of course I'm out of the box. I'm in a sphere.
You bring the Borg sphere down and touch down onto the surface of one of these titanic creatures. It is the lower half of its thorax, supposedly, judging from the silhouette scan. It's difficult to detect because these creatures are clearly crustacean in nature, but the way they are, by scale, they lay flat, almost like stingrays, spread out across the ocean floor. If anybody were to see this on the outside, they would literally just look like a Borg sphere found an underwater mountain range to settle upon. However, making contact, you once again, the moment you guys feel the reverberations and the jolt as the Borg sphere makes contact, the finesse of the pilot in control makes the contact a gentle tap at best. You guys can feel the vibrations of the impact as any ship would, but it is like a bump. To you guys, it's jarring. To this creature, you have to imagine it feels like somebody tapped it on the shoulder. And I'll see you guys later. And enjoy running the game without me. I'm done.
We are Gato.
Anyway, I'm the GM now. So then what happens is the Borg
I'm so appalled by this. I have to go. So
As the Borg Queen beams in, I start smooching.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It's about time.
It's all
Luckily,
fun.
Turn is actually an ordained priest and actually marries Cadence. And
I'm just going to go into our Lower Decks episode right now, apparently.
Well, we're already on the rubber ducky, so it's the lower ducks, just
There you
like
go.
Yep.
our YouTube.
All right,
stuff.
stand by.
I can do one of those 2 things.
One sec.
I can do the other half, so we'll work. We'll together.
Yeah,
We'll work
there we
it
go.
out.
Together,
yeah.
we can do it.
Yeah, I tried to do it didn't pan out.
I love how Elgato just likes to just on occasion just be like, screw you, I'm done.
Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
for cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cat got your tongue is what's happening.
All right, stand by. Doing a quick
The cat got
reboot.
your visuals.
Quick reboot.
I'm actually
Basically,
just.
I've
Is
got to
that
do
what?
got to do my own challenge
Why
rolls.
they
here.
call it Elgato? I actually never put that together. Is that
No,
why
I have
they
no
call it
idea.
that?
I would
I
not.
mean,
just call
it
it the
is
cat.
El
As-
Gato, so
Gato.
whether it's not, they did that. So they have to
Yeah.
live with it.
Okay. Everyone feels the reverberations of that low bass that is impossibly powerful. Emanates outward from the creature. You guys can hear it in the hull throughout the entire structure. The sphere almost seems like it becomes like a tuning fork for it for a moment. Everyone inside can hear. It's not unpleasant. The frequency is so low you can barely perceive it, but it causes the metal, the implants, everything on your entire body almost seems to grow warm for a second from the vibrations. Everything, the inner temperature of the sphere itself, the temperature in here goes up noticeably past the already oppressive heat that is inside of Borg sphere. In the facility where you guys are working on the consoles, you too all can hear this reverberation. And then it grows quiet. The creatures grow still. Zarya looks over at you, Commander, and just says, "Mission success?"
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I'm flying this thing and I'm having a ball.
Lose a point of shields.
Worth.
I'm actually not kidding. You've been down here. You lose another point. Of shields.
And you know what? In that case, still worth.
Worth 4 points, yeah. Zarya just says, "Whatever we said. Well done, Commander. First handshake."
I can't believe it. I gotta figure out how to do brain computer interface. This is great.
Well, now what?
Now
I
we
guess
wait
because-
for signal from the captain. And
On that
then
note,
Yeah.
back up in the facility, Devine, Captain,
Yeah.
power's been restored to the facility. It's time to start beaming people out of here.
Yeah, I think I give the word for the crew to start bringing people in.
And as we know, is because you've had a brain link to their iPad the whole time. So
Yep. Yeah, they actually got to see everything came back because I've been filming everything from my.
they got a live feed.
I'll tell them what I see with my Borg eyes.
Okay. I'm gonna do this because we're kind of at the point where if this was a Star Trek episode, we would be hearing the epilogue captain's log
Yeah.
as y'all are getting everything settled. So let me do this. I'm gonna go ahead and rule because you have so thoroughly fooled the Borg. I'm gonna do a single roll to see if they ever swing back around. Because remember, they've got to scan the planet. They're literally searching the oceans right now. So I'm gonna do a single roll instead of having you guys do an extended task, which was going to be pretty intense because the Borg are going to be searching for you guys. They're not searching for you guys right now. So I'm going to make them, I'm just going to roll once to find out if they roll back around.
And we have the
Got
trait
that.
all quiet here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Level
raise-
2. Level 2.
2.
I'm going to raise the difficulty then up to 4 then, because I was going to set the difficulty at 2, all quiet here. Difficulty is 4. I'm going to make their check. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what their stats are. This is a probe. So they are rolling. They need to roll a 15 or lower for successes. I have no more threat I've burned all of my threat, so I'm just rolling 2 dice. So I need to hit 4 successes. Is this going to be the roll where it finally happens?
Double crit.
I roll an 18 and a 5.
Oh, that's not a double crit.
Nope.
Oh, but then they don't
Just-
then they don't see us and they just go on their merry way and we do what we want.
It would seem that way.
Would seem
Oh
that.
my gosh, yo, Eric, I'm so if I were a GM, that this might feel real frustrating because you've been doing a lot with this. And
Did I spend a good 45 minutes just going over personal combat, expecting Borg to jump you guys and to have a whole combat session where it was Borg versus Borg and an action-packed underwater scene where y'all were throwing down and beating up other Borg? And it's fine, Sam. All right, so
no, and I know you love having that, and you're not really into like stealth submarine kind of things. And Taeyeon only got to show that he was great at a whole different mode of combat in addition
wait
to
while you're
being-
ahead.
I'm trying to compliment my officer here.
All right. You all, in 35 minutes, managed to beam up the population onto the Borg sphere. It is not without some difficulties because of the anxieties. However, you have won the trust of the Rujan. As you were all emerging from the ocean, you detect that the Borg has detected your emergence from the water. By the time they come about and plot an intercept course, it's a scout ship. It's not catching up to a Borg sphere. You guys leave the upper atmosphere and jump to warp wherever you choose to go. As this has happened, you're all approached as a lot of the Rujan are settling in. You're approached by Lazui, who says, "We are all settling in wherever we can. I don't know exactly where we will settle again, but if you wouldn't mind doing us one last favor and helping us find a new place. And if I may, my people have decided that I am to be their new leader. I would like my first official act as my new leader to offer you all a new home with us. If you would like to stay and find a new place, or if you need safe harbor to come back to, me and my people will always welcome you."
Well, I believe while we were swimming around with you, some of our officers in the water were already scouting areas that may be promising. If you'd like to look at them
At
with us.
that, I like pull up
Mhm.
if there's an image of this planet, I'll pull up. the
Plethora
image.
of planets, some of them light years from here. The Rujan looks at the screen, and Lazui you can see, even though it's mantis shrimp-like eyes, don't denote a lot of emotion. Again, you all have a reading of their body language. If it could express being moved in the way that humans do, you might see that here. In the case of the silence that emanates from Lazui, they turn to you and says, "Yes, I will form a small council to discuss where we will all settle, and we will make a quick decision. The data is quite complete. This will be easy. I don't have the lifespan to thank you enough for what you've done for us. You've not only saved my people, you've saved my whole species." Perhaps we will have a future after all.
I believe if we have anything to say about it, that will remain true.
Standing in front of the Guardian. Between blinks, you're just standing in front of the Guardian.
Okay, that was really discombobulating.
Damn, I wanted to leave a message.
The Guardian folds this paper and says, "Was it this message?" And he holds it up in the newspaper, and you see written across it, what message? What did you want to leave?
I wanted to leave a message for the
Tell us.
initial consciousnesses that lived in our bodies and basically just be like, hey, we took the steering wheel for a bit. Here's what happened, and here's
Mhm.
your relationships with everyone here who had just happened to appear on your ship. So I basically want to be like, because it seems like we're going to be like held up as like heroes of this, at least of this group of people. It'd be kind of weird for the Taeon that was once
We
in
don't know
the
if they
head.
remember. We don't know if they
Yeah,
remember what we
yeah,
did.
that's true actually. I think
Uh,
instead of leaving a message, I'll ask the Guardian, the versions of us that we inhabit, do they remember what we did as them?
We are different people all throughout our lives. There's so many different versions of us, from when we're young to as we grow older. But there are common threads that everyone shares. There's commonality between some decisions that get made. Even where paths split, you're still you, a different version of you, but you're still you. And let's just put it this way to Aeon. And the Guardian stands up and kind of like a father figure walks over to you and gives you a bit of a grin as he cocks his head and he says, "You're not very forgettable." Oh, look at this. He holds up the paper again and it says, Borg in cooperation, ex-Borg in cooperation with the Russian people establish new technologies to avoid detection by Borg collective. Underneath it is the sub-headline of something that happens 100 years into the future, where it shows the Federation welcoming the new Russian society in, this new technology completely turning the tide against the Borg. This one really pissed me off. You have ex-Borg being wholesome, helping people out. And then you have somebody throwing a wrench into that by getting an entire race assimilated and the Borg reintroduced into the collective. Pretty insidious. I'd say you not only set things right, but you made things better. Which, let's be honest, it's kind of your MO.
We are the Borg, but we try to be Starfleet. All the same.
There's a grin. Carl takes the cigar out of his mouth and says, "There are other points, but there's no need to drag you across the universes fixing all of somebody else's mess. You've corrected the ones that were most intrinsic that needed to be fixing. The universe has a way of healing itself. The shatter points being restored, timelines can be restored as well. In other words, you did good. Your task isn't done yet, but at least as it comes to the reality hopping, I can say, for now, you're out of the woods. I'm out of the woods. You have a lot to be grateful for." Points at the Romulan, she is still sitting there. She sits on a rock and she's been listening quietly. She's got her hood pulled up again, but she looks like a teenager in detention. She sits there on the rock just listening to all of this.
And her family, the ones she wanted back.
He looks at you and says nothing. It won't be erased from history. That much I can promise.
And the pride. Our people.
Well, the anti-chronoton variants will eventually dissipate from the pride, which is good because they were going to disintegrate the hull. Sorry to say. And they'll eventually dissipate from all of you, which is kind of why you're on a bit of a crunch time. Taps his watch.
Caden starts jumping up and down, trying to shake him off.
You've got some time to yourself right now after this little endeavor, but when those anti-chronotons eventually diffuse themselves from the hull of your ship, it's going to start becoming a little more difficult to deal with that rogue ship situation. So, go about your business and do what you do, and destiny will find you as destiny tends to. But just remember, there's an opportunity out there. Find this thing. I would take it if I were you. Otherwise, we might find ourselves back here again. I won't be able to correct it. Can we go home now? You hear Tech suddenly say, who's been sitting like next to the, like a few feet away from the Romulan. No offense. You're like a really good dresser and everything, but I would really like to get back to the conference if that's all right.
Oh, the conference.
Like I said before, you've never left your ship. You're right where you were when you first came into the system. This was a little, I'll call it a psychic hop, sort of a time jumpy sort of situation.
Bit of a quantum leap, one could say.
I like that.
None of you are making any sense.
I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now either.
She rises quickly all of a sudden and says, what about me? What is to become of me?
I believe you agreed to give us all the information you had on your ship.
That's how I remember it, Carl says, as he takes a puff off the cigar. And then I'm to be what, a Federation prisoner?
You do the time crime. You do the time. Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, there is a whole branch when it comes to time. So, not quite a Federation, you know.
She, in a way that a species who innately has a furrow in their brow can look, she looks quite irritated, but she doesn't look like she's arguing. Carl just stares at her and says, you haven't learned your lesson yet, have you? I hope you learn it soon enough.
What did you expect was going to happen to you? I mean, what is the outcome that you genuinely believed would happen?
You ask her this. You see her face you, Captain. She squares up for a moment, defiant, but it's all for naught, as no words come to her, and she falters. And she says, I don't know. It just...
If the roles were reversed, what would you do?
She gives you a look that says everything. She looks up from her brow. She stares at you, kind of. Your intelligence, you're working in intelligence of the old school Imperial Romulan way of thinking. Answers the question for you, Captain, as she glances at you. She says, I was in the Tal Shiar once. What was left of it? Friendship with the Federation will be the downfall of the Romulan Star Empire. Corruption of my people with the filth of Vulcan teaching.
If you had won, if we lived in a world of your making, then you would know what I would have to do in this moment here. It is because you lost that you are experiencing the mercy that you are. Be grateful for your defeat. It grants you another day for success.
She opens her mouth to retort, but nothing comes. She doesn't have any response to that, Captain. She just... And again, she seems, as you have aptly described, quite defeated. Carl says, well, I've really enjoyed getting to know this version of all of you. I really have. Started off a little rough, but I think we ended on a good note. He folds the newspaper underneath his arm and says, I think I'll take another vacation. Move around a bit.
You
Could
have
been somewhere I could fly more cool, weird ships. Kicks the dirt. Just saying.
I will be honest, I don't miss that particular hop.
I might come knocking on your door again someday. I mean, you are the only biological entities currently operating in the universe right now that's saturated with antichronotons, which makes you quite capable of righting some wrongs that your dear Department of Temporal Investigations will, 300 years from now, get themselves tangled up into. They are right now in your time not bad people, really. Good people. But in 300 years, they lose their way. But that's tomorrow's paper. Nothing you need to worry about.
Get into Tavine's ear. Cool, weird ships. Cool, weird ships. Cool, weird ships.
I walk by the Romulan and pause in front of them before turning and given a small bow, just of the head.
Okay.
And just say, despite all of this, I am sorry for your loss.
It surprises her. If Jaren had left her speechless, this almost causes her mouth to go agape as she stares at you. A Vulcan is expressing this kind of empathy, not prepared to meet one who is not adhered to the teachings of Sarek. Thank you.
I'm sorry about a loud gesture to the side of the face where I punched.
Sorry, it just says,
But
should just be grateful it wasn't me who did it. I had less of a reason. Carl approaches you, Captain, and says, good luck, Captain.
Interesting meeting you, Carl. Next time, I'll see about making sure we have a Temporal Federation agent who's a bit more qualified for this kind of thing to meet you.
He smirks and says, I'll have the coffee waiting.
Cream 2 sugars.
It's like in the other spaces, too. Puts the cigar back in his mouth. And just like that, Cadence, you are flying your peregrine over the surface of a planet. There is nothing on the surface down below. You're not detecting tech. You're not detecting her. But they are on board the Pride. Tech is currently in main engineering, looking around going, oh, okay. Well, I'm not counting any of that towards my hours off. That's not taking any hours away from shore leave, as far as I'm concerned.
I believe I was last on the bridge in the captain's seat.
That's right.
The Tholians.
Yeah, the Tholians, who, by the way, are just outside on the main view screen, and you hear, like, leaning over and going, Lieutenant? You see, Vrali is leaning over in their science chair with concern on their face, going, are you all right?
I believe so. I think some of the crew may have had a psychic and temporal event. How long was I unresponsive for?
Just a moment or so. I was reporting back what sensors were showing, and you didn't respond, and then you were just staring off.
Fascinating. Would you mind repeating what your sensors found?
Just that a chief tech appears to be in main engineering, and an unidentified Vulcan, Romulan life form has appeared in one of the brigs in Security Hold 3.
Yes, I believe the captain will want to speak with her soon. Any other motion from our allies or the other ships in the area?
No, just that the Tholians are the Tholians are leaving. And they glance up at the screen. Just in time do you see this great dreadnought slowly turning and unceremoniously turning its back on the Pride.
I do not understand them.
I'm not sure that anyone does.
I hope they are eased by whatever just happened. They're not shooting at us, so I assume it was agreeable.
Like that, you see them leave orbit and head off to high impulse towards the edge of the system.
Locate the captain for me.
All right. We'll cut to a debrief scene, unless you have any requests.
Oh, I was just gonna find the captain. Was that like where on the where is the captain right now?
I think I'm still planet-side, so yeah, we will cut to the brief.
So, y'all are in the briefing room. What you discovered is the time that has passed. To no surprise, because you were warned, maybe 12 seconds passed in this time. Apparently, nobody saw any of you leave. You were unresponsive for maybe 12 seconds, and that was it. That's the feedback you get from crew. That's what you see in flight logs. That's what everything records. As you're all sitting here listening to this, you just shaking her head. Dr. Conway goes, "That sounds incredible. I can't believe what it must have been like to jumping bodies like that." My brain immediately goes to what I could have learned. And it's one thing to know, if it's another thing to experience.
Well, next time we hop dimensions, we'll make sure to have you along.
You can actually take my spot if you like. I would rather stick in my body.
You're great, Klingon.
Haven leans forward on the desk and just says, I have a quick question. Does this mean that we're out of the woods? Did we fix things? Like, is that it?
Wouldn't count our blessings yet.
Yes. From what I understand, it's more if we put the band-aid on, we still need to deal with the cause of the wounds, which is this rogue ship.
Right.
Yep.
So there's a sentient rogue Romulan warship from the future that is able to cloak itself from time itself, and it's trying to puncture holes in the timeline to disrupt this is a lot. Those temporal investigation guys are going to be up our ass until we finish this tour of duty. I would love it if they would just leave. They're really annoying. Pardon me for saying so, sir.
Well, at least the Guardian Carl said that the anti-chronoton variants would eventually dissipate, so perhaps not the entire tour. Remains to be seen.
We can trust this Carl guy?
He knows what he's talking about.
Aye, Commander.
But if those temporal mugwumps try to get into engineering and start messing with it, just let me know. They can't disrupt the functioning of the ship. They're on here, for heaven's sake.
Happily, Commander. Happily. You will be the first one I contact.
That's the job.
Vrali, I'm sorry, not Vrali, Zoe says, Captain, we have received new orders from Starfleet. Low priority.
Let's hear them.
Zoe pulls out the data pad and says, we have to pick up medical supplies and run them to Zakari 12. Hands you this data pad. Basically, as you see the mission profile pop up on the screen, it's an incredibly mundane assignment. There's also a couple of gaseous anomalies that we are supposed to catalog while we are en route, and a Class J planet that has needs a scan. It's pretty quiet, sir.
I think we could do with a nice dose of mundane.
Definitely going to savor the boring, I think.
I think I'm going to miss being a Borg.
I think I will miss the Rusian.
Dr. Conway, literally in mid-sip, just stops and glances at you. And Pavin goes, well, okay. That must have been an experience.
That was nice. Let's set a course to boring.
Aye, Captain.
Forget y'all. I'm gonna go down to the hangar and make my ships cooler and weirder.
Perhaps turning them into a ball?
My captain has the best ideas. Oh,
Oh no! Oh no!
my deck chief's gonna love this.
Santos is going to have an aneurysm.
To be fair, it was quite efficient.
Conway pipes up and says, there are documented reports of people who have very different experiences on the other side of being assimilated. Most of them are quite negative, but there have been documented psychological profiles of folks that do speak hesitantly of the euphoria they experience being interleaked with people around them. It's another way the Borg actually maintain control over one another.
I believe it may rest some of your minds to know that we were not part of the greater collective. During this experience, we were ex-Borg and liberated, so I believe we may have had a slightly skewed experience.
There's plenty of documentation, especially from Voyager, that's reported back some of the similar experiences of people who've been separated from the collective, encountering other members of the Borg. Anyway, I really look forward to a detailed report when you all have the time. Anything you can tell me would be incredibly useful.
Of course.
On that note, Aeon, may I speak to you in private?
Yeah, of course.
Captain, permission to be dismissed?
Permission granted. To all of you. Get out of my face.
Chuckles as Pavin gets up and says, aye, sir.
I'll follow suit.
You reach the turbo lift with Dr. Conway. You can tell everyone kind of lingers and gives you Dr. Conway. No one immediately enters the turbo lift and giving you guys space. As you two step in and the door closes, Dr. Conway turns to you and says, I just wanted to check on my patient in private.
Yeah, I'm fine. Despite hopping bodies, still have the faculty of my original, which is nice. I was going to come for a checkup just in case anything is wrong and maybe I'm not noticing, but
Okay, good.
at least
We can do a formal checkup then. I just wanted to do an initial pass and ask you how you were feeling. But we can save it for the appointment. Of course, I'm just going to recommend bed rest and taking care of yourself and so on, but you probably will do whatever you want because that's how everyone operates when the doctor tells them to do something.
hey, I fully believe a rested mind and a rested body is a healthy mind. And
You are a very
That's
good
fine.
patient. I'm not coming down on you. You are quite good, and I appreciate you. When you're not throwing my staff across the room. That was a
Yeah.
joke. I'm trying to joke.
No, it was a good joke. I would admit I still feel a bit guilty about that.
Well, nobody took... Everyone feels totally fine about it. It's a bit of a joke down in sickbay. You should know the crew really cares about you.
Thank you. I care a lot about the crew.
She gives you like a friendly motherly pat on the arm just as the turbo lift doors open. She goes, "Tsh," says, I want to see you tomorrow. 0800.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. She steps out of the turbo lift and pulls a lollipop out of her pocket just as the turbo lift doors close. What are you doing, Jaren?
I think
Alone.
Jaren goes.
You're currently alone in the briefing room.
I think Jaren is going to leave this room and just walk the pride with a new appreciation and end it sitting in the seat and just, I think in missing the chair, he understands that it's no longer as big as he thought. It's not too big for him. When he thinks about the pride being home, this is the spot that he thinks of.
You make your way through main engineering on deck 19. Few of the crew members seeing you in the corridor. Captain. They move aside. You walk past the battle bridge, the upper level cargo bay. You head to deck 17, moving through the dual environmental replication core that was installed per request, secondary auxiliary battery, moving your way through the lower sensor platform where you can hear the gentle hum of this old ship using updated technology, but she does not lose that old steam engine type feel. An 80-plus-year-old relic, they call her. It's true, as you're moving through your ship, Captain. She is so much older than the other ships that are currently in service. The things the Pride has seen. She flew during the days of the Enterprise B. She has seen so much. The birth of the Kittimer Accords, numerous conflicts. You move up through the main port on deck 10, past the starboard shuttle bay. Of course, past main sick bay, deck 7, where you get a nod from Dr. Conway, who informs you that she's very pleased to see you taking a constitution around the ship, and that she would encourage you to do it more often. That exercise shouldn't all just be boxing and getting punched in the face by your Vulcan officers. Also reminds you that your captain's checkup time is rolling around next month.
Oh, yeah. I'll totally be there for that.
You walk past the officer's quarter and junior officer's quarter, the primary communications array on decks 5 and 4, until you finally find yourself moving past the senior officer's quarters up into deck 2 on the observation lounge, which has a beautiful outlook. And of course, the bar. But finally, the turbolift doors open as you make it to the deck 1 bridge. Stepping off the turbolift, you walk past the captain's ready room. Stepping onto the bridge. Captain on the bridge.
At ease, everyone, at ease.
You see, as you sit into the center chair and swivel back, you are informed by Zoe, Captain, we're just now reaching the edge of the system. We're ready to engage at your command.
Swing.
The cells of the USS Pride glow as she jumps to warp. And that brings us an end to this mission and adventure.
That was such a Star Trek episode ending. That was really good. That was really good. Good little montage.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even get to the part where in main cargo bay, as laying on their back as they're making modifications to the bottom of the Peregrine, Santos is going, "You're not turning this shuttle into a ball." Okay. And then just off to the side, you can hear Peaches going, "A ball is actually a quite efficient shape to be using for..." No. This is not open for debate.
That's what I'm saying.
No, this is not open for debate.
Glad we understand each other, Santos. Now let's look at these blueprints.
After credit scene.
Yeah. As the Cud would say, a post-credit scene. That is going to wrap us out tonight. 9 o'clock on the dot. When was the last time we did that?
Boom.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So keep in mind, this was the end of an adventure, so a lot of things are going to reset, and it's also time to accumulate any challenges to your values, anything like that, for any XP spends you might want to do, any kind of like tweaking to the characters, as well as the ship. Don't forget that a lot of your advances are also investing that into the USS.
Yeah.
We are at this next adventure is the final adventure of the campaign. So
Great.
we are in the final chapter. What happens next? Think of it as like the final season. So so think about that. Choose wisely. We are going to bring the curtains down on the episode tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us and for supporting the StreamPunks for another Star Trek adventure. We're going to have some pretty exciting announcements rolling out in the coming days, so do stay tuned for those. In the meantime, though, thank you again for joining us and being a part of our crew, Ox Crew. We love you. Have a great night. Hailing frequencies are closed.